And that's why, I want to bring in positivity this morning. I trust you're doing great. You can hear me this morning. I'm doing absolutely amazing. Good morning, Dawn, George, Ekoma.
Good morning.
And how was your weekend?
That's fine.
You look, what's that word? Hi.
Glowing.
Glowing is even an understatement.
Shining.
There's this word I'm trying to recreate.
Gay.
Not that one, no.
That's the meaning, no.
No, calm down. Take it easy. If you use that word now, some people will mistake it to be something else.
Hey, no.
But what I'm trying to say is she looks amazing. This milk-colored turtleneck is making you look, I mean, it has taken you to another level this morning, no? Are you going for a beauty pageant?
Yes, so another one again, no.
That last one did not end well. Okay, Judge Don Ekoma is here as well. My name is Mary Omeniwo. They call me the Slim Diva. You're most adorable.
And I am Judge Don Ekoma.
And DJ Marv King is also in the studio this morning with his baggy knicker. Is it pants? What they call it? Long pants, right? Baggy trouser. If you mention trouser in
I mentioned that one now.
Yeah, in the western part of they'll be looking at you. What's trouser? You go to the boutique, you want to buy, say, as a Nigerian, you go there and say, I need trousers. So they'll be looking at you, we don't have trousers. Yeah. Then you say, I need long pants. And they say, oh, yeah, we've got that. We've got lots and lots of that. Okay, thank you so much this morning for joining us. And thanks to you, Barry Cosmos, for handing over the microphone to myself and Dawn this morning. All right, so before we go ahead to tell you about the topic that we'll be talking about this morning, let's quickly drop one or two updates and let you know that the Africa Center for Disease Control and Prevention, Africa CDC, has expressed concern over a cluster of undiagnosed illnesses in Burundi, where 35 confirmed cases and 5 deaths have been recorded so far. Now, according to Yap Boum, who is the Deputy Incident Manager for Mpox at Africa CDC, he disclosed this on Thursday during an agency's weekly high-level regional press briefing, noting that investigations into the outbreak is currently ongoing. According to Mr. Bohm, he said the first case was detected on March 30 and was concentrated in the particular zones known as Mpanda and Rugazi district of Burundi. And these cases mainly occurred within households and among close contacts. And then the transmission pattern has raised concerns about a possible infectious agent that is causing that particular illness. But right now, as we speak, they do not know the exact cause of the illness. This big grammar I am blowing this morning is simply to tell you that another illness has emerged, a new one, different from Ebola, different from Mpox, different from measles, different from tuberculosis and all the other ones that we know. This one has come up and they are saying that it has killed about 5 people. And about 35 people are actually undergoing treatment. Now, he went on to say that symptoms include fever, vomiting, diarrhea, headache, abdominal pain, fatigue, and in severe cases, neurological signs like jaundice, anemia, and respiratory distress. So you see that is a lot, and it calls for concern. And to think that this has resurfaced in Africa again. Yeah. This time around, not in DR Congo, it's in Burundi. So if you have relations in Burundi, tell them to stay safe. Yeah. And if you know anyone that will be coming into Nigeria, because these people travel a lot as well. Yeah. If you know any Nigerian who's in Burundi that will be coming in, let the person be quarantined so that we do not spread this particular disease that we do not even know the name yet. And we pray that it doesn't cause another epidemic. Yes, okay. And then off from that, it's also been said that cases of cancer keeps increasing in Nigeria. And an expert, Mrs. Idara Emmanuel Okon, in Akwa Ibom State, she's actually a food scientist, while she was giving the talk, cautioned people against consuming random food and drinks, noting that eating unwholesome items can lead to cancer, any form of cancer at all. And then she went on to say, let me quote what she said, if you eat unhealthy food or drink unhealthy drinks, you end up fast forwarding your death. by having a whole lot of health issues as a result of you destroying your system. So she said it is not actually costly to eat healthy food or drink, or healthy drink, or taking healthy drinks. It is not actually costly, but it is costly even more to be in the hospital to treat yourself of one ailment or another. So you can save yourself by eating and drinking what is healthy. It is straightforward. For instance, you know you go to work every day and you might get hungry. Why not prepare your breakfast, right? Even if it's just yam, vegetables, or you can quickly boil rice, have your sauce, vegetable sauce, whatever it is, your protein, everything in one place, right? Prepare your breakfast. If you cannot afford to prepare your breakfast, make sure that you buy one on your way to work, if it's possible, so that the moment you are hungry, the first thing you do, bam, is to go straight to that food that you have got, right? But you now see a case where someone resumes work 8 a.m., gets to the office 8 a.m., no food, nothing. And the moment hunger strikes, bam, the first thing that comes to mind is puff puff. I don't know if you understand me. Or trying to discourage a lot of says that she feels into our mouths, and it's a problem. Okay, I wanted to drop this update, but I'm going to move from that. Maybe tomorrow we'll bring you that particular update, and let's talk about something. Don, I know this topic is going to interest you this morning.
I'm already feeling somehow.
I know you're feeling somehow, but really, there's one funny thing about health, right? Even those things we take for granted, that we actually feel they don't matter.
Yes.
We can actually make out topics from them. And then by the time we break these things down, you'll be amazed at where we arrive at, right?
Yeah.
Now, we want to talk about waste products.
Barry has already given something. I don't know if you listened.
No, I didn't listen.
He's already giving something like
What
that.
did he say? What did he say?
He said policy has to do with, I'm going to say something dirty. It has to do with when you feel like going to the toilet and that thing you want to throw out is actually not coming out.
Oh. Okay, so he has already given us a leadway
So that's why I
to
was
the
laughing.
topic. Really? Oh, Barry is a prophet, so he already saw ahead of time what we'll be talking about today. So let's talk about bowel movement, right?
Yeah.
Changes in bowel movement. Okay, and then fecal incontinence. That is big grammar.
Yeah.
But what does that mean? When you are unable to hold your poo.
Yeah.
When you're unable to hold the feces, it's a problem.
Yes.
And most people feel, na running stomach I dey get. Not be wahala, just they get running stomach. That is one. And then for people who go to the loo, who go to the restroom, how long do you spend in the restroom? Do you know that's also a problem?
Yeah.
Initially, in those days when we had pit toilets, pit latrines, Don, I don't know if you remember those days, right?
Yeah.
You go into the pit latrine and you take a shot. The smell alone emanating from the pit latrine you will not be able to stay there. The moment you are done, you move out. But these days we have a culture whereby someone goes into the restroom and the person goes in with the phone. Even newspaper, depending on how clean that environment is. And then maybe you have children around you who are making a lot of noise, and the next safe place you can think of is inside the loo. And then you go there, you sit down, you're trying to defecate, you're surfing the net. Remember
And
what the
forget
internet.
yourself
Yes, you
inside that
forget yourself from one story to the other. How this person raped this person, how this person killed this person, how Atiku said he would join ADC, how Peter Obi said, no, these politics are not do again. No, make I see 2027. In fact, are not contesting. From one story to another. And before you know it, what should have been 3 minutes or at most 5 minutes turns to 25 minutes, 30 minutes. Is that a problem? People don't even know these things matter. What of the color of your feces? When it is dark brown, when it is brown, when it is dark in color, is it a problem? No, everything is waste product. It is waste product. People, we don't even care about these things. And then to crown it all, before we go straight into the conversation this morning, what even triggered me was I saw a post. It's actually in the newspaper, right? In that post, I think it's the Commissioner for Environment in Lagos State. He was virtually begging the banks and the filling stations to try to open up their water system, their toilets to the public, so that when someone is pressed, they will have a place to go to, right? To release the bomb. That is in Lagos State. Oh. Now in Imo, I want you to picture yourself on the streets. For instance, from Wedra to Douglas Market. And then you're on your way. And your stomach starts to rumble. You look left, you look right. No bank, no eatery, no filling station. What would you do? It's not fun. You know, we are laughing over these things. But until it happens to you one day, you will understand the importance of us having toilets, or what do I call it now?
Mobile toilets.
Mobile toilets is lacking in Imo. We don't have it at all. And then before someone will get to release themselves, it's either they go into someone's business area, or they go to someone's house, or they go to an eatery or the bank. Even the banks, you can't just walk in there that you want to use their loo. No.
Yeah,
by the time you do it the first time, do it the second time, the third time they will accost you and say, Mbao, please, you are a security risk. Don't come here again, you know. Or you want to go to the eatery. You must patronize those people at some point.
Yeah.
And then what happens when you don't have money on you? So why I'm saying this is, it might seem very simple, but we want to also use this medium to call on landlords. People who have shops. Believe me when I tell you that if you go around, let's just use only Wedra. In fact, Wedra is two stop. Oji. Let's use Oji for, as an example. Every spot you go to, you see a shop. Have you noticed that it's those shops, no toilets? And then you ask yourself, when these people are pressed, how do they free themselves? Most people will now go to the extent of getting buckets. Urinate inside the bucket and pour it inside the gutter. And then the stench comes and kills you and I. That is for urine, which is even a little bit easier, right? Or they go to vehicles that are parked. They just find one spot and urinate. What of when the person needs to pass physics? What happens? It becomes a big problem. To us, it's nothing, but in Western and Sena climes, it's a very big issue for them.
Yes.
And they prioritize something as little as using the restroom. In fact, they make money off it. Yes, they make big money off it. Not just by planting these mobile toilets.
Yes, you have to have someone that would actually take care of it.
Thank you. They have people who they employ to take care of these things. And then the waste itself that comes out is also used to generate energy.
Yeah, it's useful.
I have said this a lot of times, but I guess it's going to take a while before we stabilize in this country. But let's keep talking, right? According to Uche, let's see if there's anything that will come out from the talk. Let's open our mouths and just talk about these things. Okay, so BOWEL movement and yes, fecal incontinence. What does it mean? And then we'll break it down from there.
Okay, changes in bowel habits. Changes in your bowel habits can provide clues about what's happening inside your digestive system. Changes include differences in your poo's color and consistency, how often you are pooing, and how much control you have over your bowel movements. Most changes aren't cause for concern, but others may be signs of a condition your healthcare provider needs to diagnose and treat.
Some people, you heard it. For some people, the consistency, the color of your stool will determine if something is wrong with your system. Now, for the color of stool, it varies, right?
Yeah.
But it typically has to do with some shade of brown, depending on the foods you have eaten at that time.
Yeah.
A temporary color change from brown is likely harmless and diet-related. However, small amounts of bright red in your stool simply means that you could be having rectal bleeding, which may or may not be serious, depending on what's causing that rectal bleeding.
Yeah.
Unusual color changes that do not go up, like deep red, black stool, tarry, clay-colored or pale, are signs that you should go and see a doctor or healthcare provider. Now, what of the consistency? It should be solid. soft, and easy to pass. Ah, God, see us analyzing physics this morning.
I don't want to think about it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we have to talk about it. We cannot shy away from these things. Don't mind us. We are doing our job, right? But when it's hard, dry, and very tough to pass, it's a problem.
It's a problem.
Number one is it's a sign of constipation.
Good.
And then what if it is not soft, it is not hard, it is not
And
dry?
not drinking a lot of water.
This time around, if it is loose, watery, it's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a sign of diarrhea.
Yeah.
For in most cases, it clears up on its own. While if it is severe diarrhea that has to do with infection, bacterial infection or whatever, it stays for days. And then if you do not do something about it, you'll be dehydrated.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we are getting this morning is that constipation or diarrhea that lasts longer than 2 weeks is not normal. You should go see a healthcare provider. And then the normal length of time between bowel movements varies from person to person. For instance, I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is take a glass of water. It helps, right? And I start to have bowel movements immediately. I go to the loo, free myself, and I'm done for the day. Yes, that's how my body system works. But there are some people, if you like, give them 1 liter of water that morning, they will drink it, nothing will happen.
Yes,
it's when they get to work. I call it the devil. In fact, that's the worst thing that can happen to anybody.
I'm telling you.
And then you start to, or the moment you now eat 1 spoon, just 1 spoon of food,
you're already uncomfortable.
You'll be uncomfortable. Your stomach starts to rumble. There are some people too. The moment they eat, they rush to the loo. The moment they eat, they rush to the loo. That is also not good. It shows your food